Design Salvation, episode 66.
This is Design Salvation, your lifeline to better design with Dixie and Annie. Our mission is to share our conversation with you so we can all elevate our work and lifestyle. Welcome to the fold.
Hey, y'all. It's Dixie Stark.
And Annie Lundquist.
We are Design Salvation.
We're super happy to talk to you today. And we have a special guest that might chime in. If she's
This is going to be super fun.
Kim Faison. We had her on ages ago. I don't even know what number. We were babies.
You know what? We'll have to reference that. But gosh, that was
ages
long
ago.
time
Like maybe
ago.
in the 20s.
Maybe a year?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Yeah, because it was last Thanksgiving-ish.
Yeah, I think that's when it was.
Was it?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, okay,
Thanksgiving.
perfect. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you were
But
right.
we'll get to Kim in a minute.
Yeah.
And we don't have a drink today. We're just, because we had a party last night.
We sure enough did.
We played petanque, and Kimmy and Dixie won. And they were so proud of themselves. Yes, they were really proud of themselves. And I must say, you were really good. I mean, you really killed us. It wasn't even close.
You're sweet.
No, it was
We
good.
had fun, though.
It was a good
Oh, it was
party and a
so
good
much
dinner.
fun.
We were going to play poker afterwards, but we ran out of time.
Oh, my gosh, because we were all so tired. We were
tired.
to work today.
Yeah, we were tired and everybody had to
my
work.
gosh.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to work.
Yeah.
Kim and I are, Kim and I are on vacation.
Hey, you're podcasting. You're
Does that work?
Yeah.
I don't think that's work.
working. Anyways.
Anyway,
it's all
so
good.
and the other thing.
So no drink.
So we're
'cause
not
we had
drinking.
it last
Well,
night.
actually, we're having a rosé spritzer,
Oh, yeah, we had
but
it.
we're not really doing a
It's
cocktail.
not an official cocktail.
It's not official.
No.
And I just wanted to say, I've said this before. I know I'm a broken record, but y'all, if you aren't following us on Instagram,
Oh, my gosh, yes.
because we put the party up there that we're playing petanque, and it's fun.
You put all the things that's current on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and then, Facebook, it launches there too. And of course, you can go to our website for any show notes or any like book club info, or if you want to, dive a little bit deeper into a past episode or what have you. So that's designsalvation.com. But you need to be following us.
I know, because we've got good stuff coming up too.
I
Really good
know.
stuff. Different stuff.
Unique, different things
Yeah.
from what we've done in the past. So you
There
need
might
to
be a little
stay
cooking
tuned.
in there.
I know.
Just a little teaser.
Just a little teaser.
That'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. That's going to be soon. That's going to be soon.
So we've been reading our books, digging in a little deeper, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been digging a little deeper on the books. We've had really good feedback. You had really good feedback on the
Yeah.
last book.
The last book was awesome. That was the White Company
Mhm.
book.
Very good feedback there, and so that's kind of fun. And then
That was a
everybody's-
very accessible book. Like, I think a lot of people could navigate that and get some nuggets out of it.
I agree.
That was a good book.
And it's pretty, so it
Yeah,
can sit
it's
out
pretty.
and it's approachable and all those things. So and then coming up, we'll have a book here in the next week or so. So that'll be good.
They come up so fast.
They do come up
Whew.
fast, and I'm like,
It's a good thing we like books.
I know, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, on the lines of like Kim being here,
Yeah.
I kind of was thinking about antiques.
Well, yeah, let's talk
I mean,
about
you
antiques.
know.
I mean, what the heck? We got
Well,
the expert here.
One of my favorite books, it's so funny. This is a funny story, okay? A little
Mhm.
confession, not really a confession, but Annie comes over and like, I'm very selective about everything that I own. So
Yeah, you are.
I don't have as much. I should probably have a bigger stash of like design tools, design books, all this sort of stuff. Oh no, I don't. So Annie comes over the house and she's like, okay, so I know you're going to love this book. You probably know it. It's, it's Daryl Carter's book, And I'm like, yeah, I've seen this. And, for those of you that don't know, it's called The New Traditional. And so anyway, she said, and I'm going to leave it with you because I know we're going to want to talk about antiques and stuff when Kimmy's here. And I said, oh, okay, that's great. And she left. She left the book with me. I looked over on my shelf. I've got it.
You do have it, yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Yes.
So I have the book. So
I
anyways.
thought you did because you said
Yeah,
before you really
love it.
love his work. And
I
it makes
really
sense
love his
because it's
work.
very clean, but it also always references the past.
It
which
does. It references
is our
the,
broken
the
record.
new and the old. And
Mhm.
so I thought I might just read the little introduction to his chapter 9.
Please do.
Okay, how does that sound?
Go.
We'll get us started into our whole topic today.
Great.
Okay. He writes, Introducing antiques to an environment adds character, a sense of story, and an acknowledgement of the past. When they are successfully mixed with modern pieces, there is no more attractive marriage.
Mm-hmm.
This can be daunting if unfamiliar territory, but do not let the process cause anxiety or intimidate you. An antique is simply something belonging to the past. It's used. With that in mind, you should be able to comfortably walk into an antique shop with confidence. Most antiques dealers are eager to give a history lesson on any given piece, style, or period. If history is not your driving interest and you are intent on addressing a specific furniture need, reinventing an antique should not present a moral dilemma.
Oh, that's nice. To take away that stress.
Yes.
You want to repurpose an antique. It's not precious necessarily. No. Now we need Kim to weigh in on this. Big time.
Because I think a lot of people do get stymied. They are like, oh my gosh, it's an antique. I can't do anything else with it.
Right, yeah.
And so I think they get a little bit overwhelmed by the use and therefore don't dive a little bit further into how it could be applicable to their own space.
No, and I think there's a quote in the Thomas O'Brien book where he talks about make old things new again.
Right.
I think there are lots of ways to interpret that.
Agreed.
And I love that sensibility that it doesn't have to, and I have a problem with like museum quality antiques anyway, because then it feels like you can't.
Right, modify them or do anything to them.
Or just use them.
Right,
like,
right, that's true.
I don't know. Kimmy, come on. Talk antiques with us. Like, what do you think about repurposing antiques? Like making it into something. Let's say you had a big armoire.
I love repurposing everything. And of course, I love antiques. And I think you can make an armoire into a bar, a linen closet.
I like that.
A TV cabinet.
Right.
You can just do anything with almost any piece of furniture. But the object is, of course, in my book, is to fall in love with it. And so to really love it and just feel a connection to it. And I'm not too big into museum pieces either, although people have said my house looks like a museum, but I don't think it does at all.
No, it doesn't, actually.
It's just stuff that's, to me, it's a personal connection. It's not just, okay, I have to go out and buy an antique today. It's like you have to have a connection and think, ooh, I love this. I love the lines of this. It's so pretty. And you can really do anything with any of it. You know, age is beauty to me. And it definitely doesn't have to be perfect.
No, and you love the things that are pieced back together, and you can see the staples and the old Delft pieces.
And to me, with furniture, I don't like it to be all refinished and made to look new again. You know, I like the patina and the warmth of the wood. But you can absolutely do all kinds of stuff with different pieces of furniture. And it's used furniture, but there's a beauty, and especially like Dixie, you say with like modern things or a modern house, you can just one pretty antique, a beautiful chest or a highboy or a pretty side table. That can be the weight, you know, just the weight of the room, and then put contemporary things around it. It's a good way to mix things.
So I love you saying, you know, fall in love with a piece, because I know your house is full of things that you love, and we all want to buy them, and you won't part with them.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, no, she has.
I'm connected.
I love
to
that you
someone.
have an attachment to a couple of things.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a couple, babe.
I know everything about everything I have, and I just don't know. I can't imagine living with things that you don't have a connection to. Although many
Really
people
good point.
do, but with just me,
You personally,
I love this thing. It's so pretty. And then you can learn about what it is. You can go out searching for a piece, but you can't just buy an antique. Like, I got to go buy an antique. My designer says I got to get an antique.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that
You
way.
got to have a
Not
connection
at all.
to it, and then it's there for your life, and then probably for one of your children's lives. You know, it's just a joy.
Well,
a
you
pleasure.
gave something when Lulu was doing her little mini internship with you. You gave her a piece, and she came home with it so delighted. And I know she'll have it forever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so special.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
only is it connected to the memories, but it has its own past, and then it has its own future with her. I just think that's super
Yeah,
special.
I mean, I know exactly where I picked it out of my cabinet at home for Lulu. I know exactly where I got it.
Oh,
I know that she can use it put a posy in, or she can put her earrings in it, or jewelry, or rings.
I love that.
It's just, or incense sticks can come out of it. It's just like a little pot, a beautiful little pot. But
Well, you were
again,
trying to steal back something that.
Okay, this is quite the battle, you two.
We're having a battle.
What are we going to do?
We're having a battle. No, not really. I would never take it back. But a little flower brick.
It's a little flower brick.
It's so sweet. I just want to rub it.
I know. It's so sweet.
It's very sweet.
Completely infatuated with it, and she keeps threatening to take it back.
I
know you're teasing, but it stresses me out because I'm like, get away from my pretty thing.
I love that you have it. It's really special to me that you have it. So.
I think that's so fun.
Yeah.
But now you got a new posy.
I did.
Carrier.
So
let's talk about this.
So it's a little demi-lune shape. I don't have that. And Kimmy brought it flat-backed. Okay, it's called a flat-back.
I bought it in France.
You bought it in France. So charming. And I'll post a picture of it.
Please do.
But I didn't know what it was called. And Kimmy says it's called a boat pot.
That's what I've always called it.
And so we said, well, how do you spell bow? And it's spelled B-O-U-G-H. So bow, technically. But I'm sure in the vernacular, it's a bow pot.
I'm sure it's probably a bow pot. I've just called it.
No, but isn't that interesting how things evolve too over time, like the names of things and what have you? But it's really beautiful. So I think you need to take and post like a picture of the brick and the bow.
I will. Well, and if you follow Kim Faison, you'll see my little flower brick.
I posted your brick a little.
You just posted it.
You did? Oh my gosh, y'all are both obsessed.
Well, she's posted pretty much a picture of every single thing in my house. So.
Especially
she's
my
having
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, especially your stuff.
She's having total
Before
fun.
she came, I'm running around, kind of scurrying around, and Deke said, "What are you worried about? It's just Kimmy, you know." And I'm like, "Cause I know she'll take a picture of damn well everything."
That's so cute. I love it.
She does take
things for you.
And you take good pictures. And one of the things that's been fascinating to me is that seeing her pictures of my house are things that I would not photograph. And then they look
fresh
lovely.
and fresh and new to your eyes.
Why am I not posting that?
You're looking through a different lens. Yeah, it's kind of refreshing.
It's totally refreshing.
It totally is.
Really.
So, I'm curious. You were just talking about the pieces that you're attached to and how, you're supposed to fall in love with it, as you should anything, even if it's a new sofa that you have. You should really love it. You should live with things that you love. I think numerous designers that we could just go through the list have said, buy what you love and, you're going to be in fine shape. Everything will kind of go together and it'll work together in the whole thing. But my question for you, Kim, is like, when somebody comes in and falls in love with something, do you like telling the story or do you like to just kind of hold back and let them just fall head over heels?
Oh, no, I tell the story.
You tell the story. That's
it
always
all to me, I'm just weird. I remember everything.
Weird?
I don't remember my name.
But you can remember where you bought something.
Almost everything I bought. And people are like, how do you remember this? I'm like, because it's like a part of me. To me, it's
special.
all just I don't know. It's a thrill. And I feel really blessed that I can share that beauty and love of early things with other people. And then I never sell anything outright ever. I always make people take it home or I take it home.
Yes.
And let them look at it in the spot. And then I can't imagine just selling you, Annie or Dixie, a table. Just like, okay, here's a table, $1,400. It's 18th century Queen Anne. And you just put it in the car and take it. I mean, to me, it's got to go in the spot. You got to live with it. The husband or boyfriend or just yourself, as in me, has to love it. And it'll either grow on you and be perfect, or it'll be like, well, and even if it doesn't work, it'll show you what you're going to need. Work.
Right.
And so instead of something leggy, I need something with body. Instead of something that's dark, I need a little. And I like to play house. So
that's great.
I come along with it.
That's great.
It's challenging
I love that.
a little bit in this day and age, though, because we're all shopping from afar a little bit more, and things aren't as accessible as a result. And in fact, you're struggling a little bit because you can't go do your travels and pick up your wonderful European treats.
That's part of my life is the shopping and the traveling and my antique dealer friends all over the world. And my business has been really good. And thank goodness I had a lot of inventory because I shopped a lot. So I'm selling down, and it just makes you wonder, when do I get to go again?
Yeah.
I want to go again.
When do you get
I want to go
again?
pick, find the hunt and land on something that's, ooh, there it is. What about that?
And there's nothing like seeing it in person, although I have successfully bought from afar because I have to.
Right.
I have to, but I only do that from dealers that I really know and that know me. I mean, I just bought a beautiful Swedish Baroque side chair. I bought a Danish pedestal table online, but I basically have to really know the people because I'm picky. I'm a purist. I don't want it mucked around too much. And if it's mucked around, it's got to be old mucked around. I don't want to buy a table. It's got a brand. It's been married, got the top, didn't start with the bottom, or a chest on chest, the top. And you can also really tell that by the piece of furniture. Like if the bottom has got quarter columning and the top doesn't, to me, my eye picks that
You'll
up.
pick up.
And that's the thing where you have so much value to us because you showed me a really pretty settee with a lot of character to my eye. And then you said, this is all wrong because clearly it was pieced together. The legs are too small and they look like they're from a bergère and on and on and on and on. And I was like, okay.
Exactly.
I thought it was pretty.
I thought it was great. Well, then you showed us a table. And you said, "Oh, this is Italian."
The table I bought. The Italian.
The Italian one. And I looked at Annie and I go, "I would have called that Portuguese."
Yeah, and
I would have had that completely wrong.
It could also be Spanish.
It could
with the
be kind of got the Spanish seal. Mm-hmm.
So who knows for sure where some of the things come from? It's not like America that's so small that it's from Pennsylvania County or the Shenandoah Valley.
Right.
This is 300 and 400 years.
Oh, yes, of course.
So as things go along, they do. Like at home, I have a little tile table that's got its leg wired together. I bought it in England, and I have a restore. Stephen, he could fix it. I don't want to fix it. I love that little wired leg together. It's like that's part of it.
So
cute.
So I like that.
So
that's
cute.
Like I had a really ancient. Well, it wasn't that ancient, but it was my mom's car, and I drove it into the ground pretty much. But it had all these little quirks, like. In order to make the windshield wipers go, you had to honk the horn.
Oh, my gosh.
When I sold it to the guy, and there were a number of other darling little quirks to it, and I sold it to this guy, and I told him, I said, hey, listen, there are some issues. And he said, I love that. And it's sort of like that little wired leg on the table.
You kind of just fall in love with whatever the charm is.
You got to honk the horn to get the windshield wipers go.
Imperfection. I don't know if I'd like to honk the horn.
Well, we have a lot of rain here. So
that would be kind of a little distressing. You just used a term though that I want to catch you on here. You said married. A piece was married.
That means it didn't start out life together.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, it lost part of it, or say it was a vitrine, a glass front cabinet on a stand, and somehow along the line they got separated, or somebody wanted it to sit on the floor. And so then another person that came along, they decided they wanted to stand. So they found a base and put it under the table. So a lot of pieces
are
married.
And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not all bad, is it?
No. How do you feel about that?
I don't mind that at all. It has to still be the same, a pretty color. Also, it depends on the price. You might find a pretty high boy that's married. If it wasn't, it would be $40,000. But since it's married, it's $3,800.
There you go.
But it has to be, to me, it has to kind of be of the same animal. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Or else it just jumps out at you like, well, this certainly didn't start
weird.
out life together.
Yeah.
And I guess since I've done it for so long and shopped so much that it really, sometimes things like that really jump out to me.
Whoa.
And I don't mind if the price is good and if both pieces are old. I don't like a 1920s top on a 18th century base anymore. Not like a 19th century base with an 18th century top. So,
yeah, that's
but marriage isn't all bad. A lot of times, if something's 400 years old, you don't call it married when the legs have been all replaced or the feet have been tipped off. But, there's a lot of case pieces.
Right.
2-piece case pieces, chest on chest, high boy, that the pieces are put together. A secretary, you might find a secretary that the glass top didn't actually start with the bottom, but they're beautiful
really
marriage.
Pretty together.
And it's really like, okay.
You're like, okay, this totally works. That's interesting because I've worked in antiques for, 2.2 seconds, but I don't think I'd ever heard that. So I went, okay, what does that mean? And it kind of goes back to what was saying, in Daryl's book where he was talking about it's not a huge dilemma if you do put two pieces together and the marriage is good.
Yeah.
And
don't
if
be
you
intimidated
recognize
by that.
that that's the case, or if you modify something like we were talking about in the beginning, you use something for what was not necessarily its first purpose, but you've made it, purposeful for you. So I'm like, I love that idea.
You could put a piece of marble top on the bottom of something that's, put a piece of stone on the top of something that's missing, stop and totally repurpose it into a bar.
Yes.
But the married furniture is furniture that's been just tried to make do, and some marriages are really bad. It's so obvious. It's like,
that truth.
My son Ben will go, hey mom, let's look at this. And we'll be like, after we look at it, it's like, that thing's been married and it's not a good marriage.
And it's not good.
Just two totally things that couldn't possibly have been together.
So that's interesting. I like
a
that.
Leo and a Taurus or something.
Oh, that'd be bad, wouldn't it? That'd be really bad. We wouldn't want that. But yeah, I just think that your field is so interesting to me. And I love history. And so all the stories, I get really attached to the story.
I love it too, but I also think that it's really key to find a few people you really trust in the business so that you can collect these things and have confidence
that what you're getting and what you're paying for is appropriate.
Yes, because one thing I love
there,
about you is you have really expensive pieces, and then you have things that are far more accessible. And you treat them all with equal love. But
sweet.
you can go into her shop and find something at a price point and start your little collection. I love that about how you...
And as far as collecting, I always told my young people, one pretty thing a year, one early thing a year. And in 5 years,
you'll have so many.
You have this for your life. You've got a beautiful secretary, a beautiful commode, a beautiful, do you know what I mean? Beautiful mirror. And I want to sell things for your life. I don't want to sell things I want people to be happy when they see my stuff and feel like,
and not disposable. So,
along those lines, I think that, not disposable for sure. And also just continuing that sense of history throughout whatever design permutation you get married to a guy who has a modern taste or that can be really challenging, but there's a way to work through that.
Yes, and to work the things in that are not only beautiful, sentimental, functional. It's the same kind of messaging that we always have. But I just think that the whole antique layer, if you will, is such a beautiful one that I think oftentimes gets forgotten. And I think it really does, certainly right now in this age of like, get it fast, get it now. And the fact that we're, at home shopping
Dixie,
and not
but don't
about.
you feel like, I feel like with the whole COVID thing, there's been a reassessing of style and
absolutely think
the
so.
past, where we were so on a contemporary bent. I really feel, and there was the whole chintz movement coming back around, but I feel like I see it really being pushed forward just because of our circumstances. In some way, people want the connection more.
Well, that's exactly it. They want a connection because
Yeah.
our human connection has kind of been taken away from us. And so now it's like, what can we connect with? What is it that we can connect with? And what we surround ourselves with is far more important than it was. And I think people want the story and they want things that have history and past and that have character to them. And it's more important because they are interacting with it far more than they did before.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's well said.
I'm hoping.
Well, so along those lines,
if
I could just read, I have this quote by Thomas O'Brien.
Oh, look at you doing your homework.
I did a little homework, and it's sort
of
what you are saying. And I love how he believes in making old things
he does.
again. And I remember when I loaned you this book, you were a little overwhelmed by it because there's a lot of stuff.
He has a lot of things in there.
He has a lot of things in there. And
he loves antiques.
He loves antiques. And because he's a shop owner, I think
he's
shop owners.
And he's a shopper.
Kimmy?
Yeah, it's personal.
Yeah,
you put a lot of stuff in your house because it's all beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got a story. I know every bit of it is personal. It's
right.
Very personal.
And I think he has the same approach.
He is exactly
I love what he
way.
said at the end of all these efforts. in literally the last room we come to in the whole of this house, because his book is about his home, which is very expansive and quirky. I got to make that kind of space that I'd always dreamed of having. It's an honor to work in an aesthetic that touches the spirit of another time, where my job is to know the ingredients well and make something of them that is authentic. The hope in all that I do is to create things that have a substance and a memory that carry something of a past and feel that they will last into a future. It's the before, the now, the after. Design for me is about making the things worth keeping that will carry on traditions I love and respect for a long time to come.
Very nice.
That's a good one.
Very
I like
nice.
That one.
And it speaks to some of the same things you were saying, Kimmy, where, you know.
It is. This is the story, the authenticity, the soul.
It's the soul.
Well, it gives me goosebumps.
And
it does me
you want
too.
to rub it. I just
Yeah.
like, ooh, look at that pretty thing.
Isn't that pretty?
You know.
I remember that last time you talked about things being rubbable. And
Yeah,
I think about that term so often when I fall in love with a piece. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the Kimmy rubbable thing.
Yeah.
That's that thing. That's
it is. Yeah. So I like your I want to end on this little tidbit of advice. Take one piece a year that's really special, that really means something to you, and just add one each year, something of really good soul medicine for you.
Soul medicine.
And put it, that touches you, that
makes of your house happy.
Yes.
And one other thing, I've had all people saying what their house names are, and it's so funny. When no, it's fun. It's like there's the fig house. I wish I had written them all down. I may have to write them down at some point and read them off. But one thing I would suggest, because the Wall Street Journal did that.
Yes.
Article
right on the heels of us.
Oh, exactly.
Of course.
Naming your house and how it makes you feel more connected to it. And you all have some fairly formal names to your houses, not like mine, which is Francine.
Or mine, that's Sugar.
One thing I would encourage you to do if you want to make friends with your house is to come up with a first name. Like if your house is named the Heron House.
Right.
Like you might name it Harold Heron or Harry Heron, or so you can talk to it like a friend. Like, hey, Harry, let's get you buffed out. We're having a little party. Let's make it special. That kind of thing, so that you really can talk to your house.
I agree with you on that, because I think that makes it far more fun and far more personal. And I think it's really interesting that article came out
it
right
was interesting.
behind us.
Sure did.
But we have I think we have a little better twist.
We have a better twist and a little jump.
You can't say, hey, Mr. Heron House.
Yeah.
Now listen here. It's got to be Harry.
It's got to be
or
like,
something.
Harry, come on.
Harry.
You just
Let's step it up.
Step it up.
Come on, doll.
Oh, yeah.
You have 2 names for your house, right, Annie?
Well, yes, Francine, and then when she's really looking good, she's Francoise.
Oh.
And she was Francoise this week.
She
did a good job this week because you were coming, Kimmy.
Yeah.
You were coming.
Well, she knew. She had her best outfit on.
I told her, come on, baby.
We got to
Let's
step
prove
it up. Let's
We're
do it.
going to get photographed.
It's all fun.
Live it.
It's all
thanks,
fun.
Doll. Thanks, honey. I love having you here. Thanks, Kimmy.
I
Love
being
having
here.
you as
It's
a
a pleasure, my pleasure.
Cheers.
Always fun. Cheers. And we will talk to you next week. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Hey, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also find us at designsalvation.com, where we'll have the past podcasts listed as well as show notes. Hope to see you there.